In this lesson, we're going to solve multi-step linear equations. So multi-step means that there's more than two steps. X is going to be on both sides of the equal sign. Our goal, as with any of the solving of equations goals, is to get a variable equals a number. The number can be any kind of number, and the variable is alone on one side of the equal sign. Doesn't matter whether it's the right or the left. To reach the goal, we want to pick any term to move to the other side by adding or subtracting only. After you pick that term, you're going to move the variables, the letters, to one side of the equal sign, and the constants, which are the numbers without a letter attached to it, to the other side of the equal sign by adding or subtracting only. So your first two steps are going to be addition and subtraction. The third step in this type of problem, if you have multiplication, you're going to divide. If you have division, you're going to multiply, and you will get the variable alone on one side of the equal sign. So you're undoing what is happening to the variable at all times. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side, because you have to keep a balance. So our first example, solve for x. We have 5x minus 8 equals x plus 12. So I pick a term. Terms are separated by plus or minus signs. And I move that term to the other side. So I'm going to choose the term negative 8. I'm going to move that negative 8 to the other side, and I do it by its inverse. I add 8 to both sides. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides of the equation, and I get 5x equals x plus 20. So the next term that I have to do is this x, because I want my variables on one side and my numbers on the other side. I subtract the x from both sides of the equation, and I get 4x equals 20. I want the x alone, so I have multiplication by 4, so I'm going to do division by 4 on both sides of the equal sign. When I divide both sides by 4, I get x equals 5. And my answer is x equals 5. Now, remember this problem. Remember that we started with plus 8, and we ended with x equals 5. Because my next example is that same problem, except I'm not going to start with the minus 8. I'm going to show you that you can pick any term and you're still going to come up with the same answer. So I'm going to pick a different term. In this one example, I'm going to pick 5x to move to the other side of the equation. 5x is a positive, so to move it, I can only add or subtract. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides of the equal sign. So when I subtract 5x from both sides, I end up with negative 8 equals negative 4x plus 12. I now want to move this 12 to the other side because I only have a variable here. And I want my variables on one side and my numbers, my constants, they don't have a variable attached to them, on the other side. So that means I need to move this positive 12 to the left-hand side. So I'm going to choose the positive 12 to move. I move the positive 12 by adding and subtracting. So if I have positive 12, I want to subtract 12. When I subtract 12 from both sides, I have negative 20 equals negative 4x. I want the x alone. I don't want it multiplied by a negative 4. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. When I divide both sides by negative 4, I get 5 equals x, or x equals 5. My last example is a different example from the first two. Okay, it is negative 15 plus 5x equals negative 3x minus 7. I am going to choose to move a term. So the term that I'm going to choose to move this time, I'm just going to choose negative 3x. You can choose any of the terms to move for the first time. So if I move negative 3x to the other side, I move it to the other side by adding 3x to both sides of the equal sign. When I add 3x to both sides of the equal sign, I get negative 15 plus 8x equals negative 7. I'm adding 15 to both sides of the equal sign because I want my variable on one side, and this is the only place where my variable is, so I'm going to move my constant that's on that side to the other side. I have a negative 15, so I want to add 15 to both sides of the equal sign. When I do that, I get 8x equals 8. Now I want the x alone, so I'm going to divide both sides by 8. When I divide by 8, I have 1x, which is the same thing as x, equals 1. So my answer is x equals 1. In summary, what you do to one side, you do on the other side. You first pick a term to move to the other side of the equal sign. You undo it by addition or subtraction. You move all terms with variables to one side and constants, those are numbers without variables attached to them, to the other side. You undo them by addition or subtraction. Then my last step is either multiplying or dividing. To undo multiplication, I divide. To undo division, I multiply. And I will have my variable alone equal to a number.